What is up, Gun Squad? Welcome to the channel. But before we get started, I want to just go ahead and tell you guys to go ahead and copy one of these shirts. We have very limited supply of this shirt. We are actually selling out. We're starting with a new logo design. If you want to get one of these shirts before they sell out, go get you one. And also, if you have any new shirt designs, any nice logos, creations that you made, go ahead and email us down below. We might use it for our next shirt.
So I am in full original Goon Squad mode. I got the shirt and I got the flops. And now it's Bondo time, guys. So the only bodywork that we got is gonna be this quarter panel right here, which we just gotta throw a thin layer of Bondo right here, make it nice, smooth, make it almost OEM, of course. And then actually we're gonna wet sand or color sand the whole entire car because we are gonna be doing a fresh new Goon Squad style paint job. As you can see, the car is really filthy right now. It's been sitting at the auction for probably a year. A lot of scratches. There's a couple dings here and there.
This car looks like it's been through some car washes a few times, and you do not want to do that on a black car.
Never.
On camera, it really doesn't look that bad, but in person, man, it's pretty much scratched up. The roof is pretty scratched up a little bit, as you can see there.
Yeah, a bunch of swirls.
Bunch of swirls. This paint is just filthy. We're gonna give our Goon Squad touch on it, you know, give it a nice black new paint on it. We're not gonna repaint it, guys. Don't ask what color you're gonna paint it, because that's a lot of work to repaint a car.
Black. You probably leave this carbon fiber because carbon fiber really flows with black. And also this side over here is pretty jacked right here. You can see like a little ding there, a little scratch there. So the best thing to do is give this whole entire car a proper brand new paint job.
Make this thing look better than OEM.
Oh yeah, man. And then you can see the bumper. We're gonna fix it, save it, make it look nice.
Yeah, pretty much the front end needs painted, the rear end needs painted, and there's scratches everywhere. So the best thing to do,
fresh paint job.
Paint the whole car.
Black is a hard paint to perfect, but I think we're gonna do our best and we're gonna make this thing look pristine.
So this is the main area I want to focus on. I want to put my mind into this area because this is the most important area that you want to be perfect, because this is black paint. Once you paint it, you might be able to see little sand lines or anything like that. I do not want that, so I want to make this perfect, as straight as possible. You know, use my laser focus on it, you know, get it straight. You know how we do on this channel. So I'm gonna pull out all my sandpaper, set everything up, all the Bondo and everything you need to sand this thing, and we're gonna start shaping this body up. So this is basically everything I'm gonna need to do the body work on this quarter panel. We got here some lightweight body filler, the cream hardener for it, 320. We got some 40 grit, some 30 grit, some 180. Got our little sanding blocks, our little foam ones, and also got my really soft one right here. I like using this one to smooth everything out at the end. You know, you got to get it perfect with that one. A little trick and tip for you guys out there doing body work. I use a clipboard to mix my filler up. You know, it's probably one of the best tools I thought of to use because you can hold it really easily, mix it up, and you can clip your little spreaders up there and you're good to go. So we're gonna get started using the 80 grit. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little piece out from my block and start sanding. Now that the surface is all prepped, we're gonna apply the first coat of body filler. so I already applied the first layer of Bondo. It's looking really good. Mixed a little bit too much, but it happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry and dispose of this one and start sanding. Now that the Bondo is dry, I'm gonna grab my 1 foot block, slap this 80 grit on there and start roughing it down. Roughed it down with the first coat of Bondo. We got it perfectly straight, other than, you know, a few divots in there. You know, the first coat is always the rough coat. You put it on thick, you send it down completely down. Now it's time for some glazing putty. Probably go a lot wider for sure and go all over it with glazing putty. And that should be the last coat, hopefully. So now I'm gonna wipe it down with some wax and grease remover and mix some glazing putty up and apply it. This mess that we made here, but that's not all, because tomorrow we're going to be back out here doing the same thing, trying to get this thing perfect. This is the second coat of glazing putty we put on here, because I'm really trying to do this thing as straight as possible. If it needs another coat, I'll apply it tomorrow, but for now I tried to make this second coat as smooth as possible. As you've seen, I sanded them all down really smooth, because you know how we do it on this channel. We're going to try to make this thing better than OEM. So we're going to clean everything up, our huge mess, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. So we had the car parked in the garage so it doesn't get any type of moisture on it. So now we're gonna pull it outside and keep working.
Thomas, we haven't seen you in a while. The Whiskers. What you doing? What's up, Whiskers? Thomas, man. They're just fighting. They're out here fighting.
So we got most of our sanding supplies out here. We're gonna start shaping that body panel out again, the quarter panel, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna try to get this thing as straight as possible today and get it ready for some primer. I'm gonna switch over to a 180 grit. I was just now using 80. It's kind of a coarser version of a 180, so I'm gonna throw a 180 on there. That's usually the last step to cut down Bondo with, is a 180 before you do primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on and start cutting it down.
All right, so after a good bit of sanding, we finally got this top section here really smooth. It's formed properly. We checked on the other side. This is really smooth too, also here. But the last thing that's gonna be really hard is probably this edge here, which is somewhat there, but we need to focus on it a little bit more. So now we're actually gonna lift the car up, take this wheel off, and there's a little bit of grinding that needs to be done behind this wheel well. And we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. And then we're gonna continue throwing a little bit more Bondo here, and we're gonna get that perfect, looking great. And then it's gonna be ready for some primer.
Alright guys, so this absolutely took the most time out of everything. Took me a couple hours. I gotta say, probably took me like 8 hours to do, because I wanted to make it as straight as possible, and I think I got it right perfect right there. Can't even tell anything. It's super straight. As you can see, I've been working hard. Got all this dust on me everywhere. Now we're gonna remove the trunk lid, the rear bumper, the tail lights, and start working over here on the inside, you know, where all the spot welds were re-welded. I'm gonna go ahead and start grinding them, sanding them down, and start finishing this whole quarter panel up. So we're gonna pop all this stuff off and keep on moving. As you can see, these are all the spot welds that we need to grind down, get this whole side right here and everything under here all smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the grinder and start grinding.
All right, so we got it all grinded down over here. We threw a strip of tape down right here so the Bondo doesn't get on anything that's not necessary. Over here, there's not gonna be that much grinding because we are gonna throw seam sealer, so you're not even gonna see that. But over here, we're getting some glazing putty ready. I actually went and picked up some more. It's a little bit different brand. It's a nicer brand, Evercoat. Glaze it. He's gonna mix them up. We're gonna throw it on there and we're gonna smooth it out, make it look legit, make it look like this side over here.
all this bondoed right here. It's looking good, it's looking sharp and straight. Now we're gonna get ready to prep it for primer, and the way to do that, after you sanded the car, you wanna go ahead and grab you a 320. If you don't have one of these rotary sanders, you can just block it out with your hand. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop a 320 on here, and I'm gonna start sanding. The reason why I'm using a 320 is to sand all these scratches that were formed by the block. You know, I used an 80, a 180. I want to go ahead and get them down as much as possible before I throw primer. Now that we have sanded that quarter panel, wax and grease removed it, it's ready for some tarp and almost ready for that primer, guys.
All right, so now that it's all taped up, we're gonna go ahead and mix up some primer, which he's in here. Going ahead and cleaning the gun up. You always wanna make sure that gun is clean. Here you go, sir. Using a cheap old Harbor Freight primer gun, which has been working great as long as you clean it up real nice, right?
Clean.
15 bucks. Spray your primer, guys. Alright, so we're gonna run to the store right quick and go pick up some proper primer. You do not want to ever use that rattle can stuff on your cars, man. You're gonna have some jacked up bodywork. So we're gonna go get some 2K primer and some activator, and we'll be right back. In the Valley of O'Reilly's. You find it?
So we found our primer, and we'll catch you guys back at the house. So we're about to mix it, put it in the gun, and put it on the car.
This is pretty much a water separator. You definitely want to run that if you're spraying paint, primer, any of that. You definitely want to run it through a filter. We went ahead and ran the lines.
All right, we're ready to spray.
Alrighty guys, so it is time to pull it off. Thomas is gonna go ahead and help us out. But it is time, man. We're gonna go ahead and untape it. And then we'll keep on going from there.
As you can see here, we got a huge mess here. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this thing up. So we got everything wrapped up, and we'll catch you guys in the morning.
Alright, so we got it one step closer to the painting process. The major body work is done. It's finished. It is smooth. It turned out awesome. It took a long time to do, a lot of forming, a lot of perfecting, but we finally got it. So that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Goon Squad. You get the inside scoop there before YouTube. Also, guys, be sure to check out goonsquad.com. Copy one of them original shirts, or copy one of these, or one of these Supreme t-shirts. They're nice and soft. Get you something. If you guys want to support us, all the links are down below. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.